Scott Morgan here, Michigan Sports Radio. Joining me once again is Coach Kaman from the Coopersville Varsity. Coach, welcome back.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for having me.
Hey, unfortunately, this is the conversation I never want to have until the very end, we're in December, but we'll do it now. Let's talk a little bit about the game against Forest Hill Central.
Yeah, it was obviously a big game for us, and I thought our kids responded well and came out and played well right from the start. Took the lead right away, 14-0, and we're doing some really good things. And then obviously they're a good football team, so they kind of rallied, made a few plays themselves, and found ourselves tied up at halftime. And at the end of the day, we just kind of made too many mistakes to win the game. I think we had our opportunities for sure, but just really proud of the kids. Thought we had a great season, and thought the kids played really hard. Don't question that one bit. So just one of those games where when you get to this time of year, teams are good, and if you don't play your very best, you can get beat. And obviously that team is pretty good. They're coming off a state championship, and it's just a situation where we just got to get a little bit better, and that's what we're going to work to do.
What kind of stood out the most for you, from that game that was really, hey, I love that. That was great.
Yeah, our seniors, I'll just go back to those guys. They've really led our football team, the last, year here or so since things wrapped up a year ago. We really challenged those kids. There wasn't as many seniors in this group, so those kids really did a great job of leading our team, throughout the off season, the spring, the summer, and got into the season, and every year is different. Every team's different. So that's what kind of makes it interesting if you're trying to bring your team together and build your team. You've got different personalities, different, types of people, and every group's every year's a new group of kids and a new mix of kids. So it was fun to watch this group develop and grow, and I just thank those seniors for their help with that and helping to lead our team.
It really was a great mix with this group. This group set some records too, Coach. It was kind of nice to see. Long records that have been standing for a while.
Yeah, there were some good things with this group for sure. That's, I think the one thing we talked to our seniors about, is the fact that their legacy and, winning that conference championship. That's the first time in 17 years that's been done. So that's something that's really special. They'll be able to come back and see that trophy in the case and, put some hardware in there. So that's pretty cool. And then we had some individual accolades as well that come along. But I think it's important to keep in mind that, those individual awards don't come without the whole team.
Oh, yeah.
Like you've got guys, that are helping you out, whether it's, Bo's passing touchdown record or Brooks' touchdown receiving record or all those things. Those happen because of other people, right? Because the linemen are protecting them, and, Bo's able to get Brooks the ball because of the protection. So, I think sometimes that gets lost along all that stuff with some of those, individual accolades. But it is cool, because two things. Obviously, it shows that kids are making plays to put themselves in the record books and put our program kind of like push the envelope and raise the bar. But I think it also kind of highlights and helps us kind of share our history, and look back at some of those people that made some of those big plays and held some of those records before, which I think is cool. So just a really special time for our program and excited about what's to come.
So what's next now?
Yeah, just in terms of, really it's just kind of like it, I always tell you, it never stops, for me. So it's always on the go. So now we're just sort of in the phase of kind of wrapping everything up with our end of season stuff. We've got our banquet coming up here in a week or so, and then we'll begin the weight room work and stuff. That's going to start next week. So we'll start up on Monday with the weight room work after school and getting the kids going with that and starting to build our team for 2025. So it just becomes kind of that process. So you're into December's kind of reflective, looking at what we've done and looking at some of our, looking at our schemes, looking at our, our coaching staff and, the things we do during practice and kind of really looking internally for those kind of months there in December and January where I kind of really just dive into a lot of the film and kind of how we do things. And we talk to each other and what went well, what didn't go well, what do we need to improve on, and then try to focus on developing those things once you get through Christmas into spring and trying to develop football players. And, it's one of the things I really like the most is just trying to help kids get better. And I think that's kind of our focus here as we get rolling. So
that's the biggest aspect, isn't it? You being able to develop these kids so that some of them are really ready for this next level. And again, you have to have congratulations again to you and to your coaching staff. J.J. Hurtis has committed to Illinois, so there's another D1 candidate that's out there along with Gabe Van Sickle. How cool is that, to have, the kids that you coach at that level.
Yeah, it's really neat. You know, you take JJ for example. Like there's a kid that, obviously went through some things with some injuries and stuff the last couple of years, but really was able to come out on the other side of it and really mature and lead our team. And grow physically, improve his body, put on some good weight, and obviously have some really good senior film that gives him this opportunity now at Illinois. Which information now is he's actually going to early enroll. So he'll be he's going to enroll at Illinois in January. Yep. So that'll be kind of a quick process. So he's got some work to do between now and then to kind of finish up an online class for sure, and then take care of that. But he'll be taking care of those responsibilities. So that'll be a big step for him, heading down there and getting that chance. But I think overall, getting back to your question, just I think it says a lot about our kids and our families here, just their work ethic and what they do, and I'm proud of the kids for that. And I think it definitely creates excitement for the other kids, because they know our program is getting viewed and seeing those things from those other coaches and that staff's at that level, which is a big deal. But I think overall it just comes down to, our kids working hard. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, you got to have, JJ and Gabe both blessed with some pretty nice genetic things there. So that's a big part of it. But the work ethic and their constant strive to get better, which doesn't end with two kids that end up playing Division I football. Doesn't matter if you're talking about one of the last kids on our roster. Those kids are going to be working really hard. Through November, December, January, February, March. Like there's a million invisible hours. That the people out there just don't understand how much time people put into this, and our kids especially work at it. So I'm just excited for that and kind of ready to get back to it and identifying kind of where we need to improve and go from there.
Yeah, because now you get to look at all three levels again. The freshman, sophomore, and the junior class, now moving them up. You get to kind of put pieces and plate. You kind of look at pieces as you're going through the season, or do you wait till now and then start putting the pieces together?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys that burns through a lot of notebooks. So you look in this office, there's notebooks everywhere here, right? So I just, just in terms of, I think you're always kind of like planning. I think you've always got to you've got to be planning in the future and kind of what's ahead. And obviously we're really focused on what was, our current season up until, last Friday with that stuff. But I think, when you look back and reflect on some of the things we went through this year with, losing JJ for a short period of time and playing some younger kids up front, where Calvin Rossman steps in and plays some offensive line. And, we've got, at that point you got one guy that's a senior on that offensive line. And we made some pretty good hay for a few weeks with those kids in there. So it gives you optimism for the future, for sure. We've got some nice kids up front, and they'll just continue to be an emphasis on our offensive line play and our development there. So I'm excited about that and that group. And that group's just kind of special to my heart. So, and that group will just continue to work and just get better. So I'm excited about that. And the kids that are coming there to kind of challenge for some of those spots, And then I think from there, just, we had a lot of young kids in a lot of spots. You look at those, look in that playoff game, you got Wyatt Klosterhouse out there making some plays and doing some things. And, so.
And we gave Wyatt an award there in week 9 when he's out there playing and stuff. Yep. So young kids out there getting the job done for you.
Yeah, just giving those kids opportunities and experience. They've earned that. Some of those kids are ready for the bright lights that way, and they got some of those reps this year through the 5-quarter plan. And once you get to the playoffs, then you get them the whole game, right? So you can use them whenever you want. But those kids really did a nice job, and I think there's a handful of those kids that'll challenge next year, to see kind of, hey, where we're at and who the best are, and I think that's healthy. I mean, I think, when you look back and you go back to when I first got here or other, situations, other schools I've been, like sometimes it's like, well, this is what we got and these are the best ones and everybody knows it, and I think now we're in a spot where we have kids that are going to compete and they know they got to fight for their spot, and there's kids that are going to compete and push them to try to, take that spot. So I think it keeps everybody kind of on notice a little bit. You got to keep working, there's nothing kind of handed to you. So our kids will work at it, and excited to see kind of what cream rises to the top, by next year. So it should be fun.
Final thoughts on this year? Yeah,
just really thankful for our seniors and this group of kids. What a special group. Like, a lot of fun to be around. Had a ton of fun coaching those kids every day. It's one of those things where I think you're so caught up in the fact that we're just, out doing our thing. Like, you don't think about the end. You don't think about the end. You're out there coaching kids, and you're enjoying that time with them and preparing to win and get better. And week to week, you're doing that every day. And you don't think about that, and all of a sudden it comes like a screeching halt, and you're kind of like, man, like it's over, and I think it takes some time for that to set in. But just really proud of our seniors. I'm really proud of this group of kids in general for leading our team, and thought our team did a great job. I'd like to thank our senior parents. We had a lot of really good parents that helped out with things, and Mrs. Hurtis was one of our team parents. She did a lot of really good things for the program, helping out with those things like behind the scenes,
Yep.
Making my job a little easier. And then just thankful for like Broncos radio and our school and our community and them supporting our football program. I think, you go out and you look, and I just, I don't get a chance to do it probably enough or see it, but you just see some photos or maybe after a game and stuff, and you look up and you see the crowd behind our sideline. It's like, holy cow, man. So I just, really thankful for our community and support of our football team and our kids, and we're working. So we're gonna keep coming, and we're gonna kick down that door. So we'll keep working for it.
All right. Well, thank you. Like I said, we're excited. We're sad to see this season end, but in the same token, Coach, we start to really get excited about the next season and see what the Broncos can do and see what you and your staff can put together once again. Thank you again for your time all season long, and it's been appreciated to be inside here in the huddle, as I would say, where I can see behind the scenes things that are going on. So it's been kind of fun. So thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you, Scott.